How Catholicism Invented Goth, the true story behind Memento Mori and its occult appropriation. Welcome to FaithFocus.ca, the podcast where we explore the deep and fascinating intersections of Catholic faith and everyday life. I'm your host, Daniela Beasant, and today we have a truly captivating topic for you, Memento Mori. So if you're a fan of Gothic culture, you might be surprised to learn that Catholicism is the true origin of Goth. That's right, so pull out those velvet skirts and black lipstick. Long before it became a subculture known for its dark aesthetics and brooding themes, the Gothic spirit was alive and well within the walls of the Catholic Church, and it still is. So today we're going to explore how Memento Mori not only shaped this aesthetic, but also how modern occult practices, particularly Luciferianism, has tried to appropriate it. So Memento Mori literally means, remember, you will die. It's an ancient practice that's been a part of Catholic spirituality for centuries. So the idea is to keep the reality of death at the forefront of your mind, not to morbidly dwell on it, but to live our lives with a sense of urgency and purpose. The early Christians and medieval Catholics used symbols like skulls, hourglasses, wilting flowers to remind themselves of their mortality. This practice was meant to encourage a life of virtue and readiness for the afterlife. The Gothic aesthetic, with its dark and haunting beauty, is deeply rooted in these Memento Mori traditions. So think about the old architecture of old cathedrals, the art that depict the saints and martyrs, the use of sacramentals like relics of saints, and even the Gregorian chants that evoke that sense of solemn reflection. These are all elements that contribute to what we now recognize as Goth. So here's where it gets interesting. The modern Gothic subculture, which emerged in the late 20th century, borrowed heavily from these Catholic symbols and themes. Bands, fashion designers, and all the artists back then were inspired by the imagery and philosophy of Memento Mori, transforming it into a counterculture movement. However, there's another layer to this story. In recent years, certain occult movements, particularly Luciferianism, has appropriated these elements of Memento Mori for its own purposes. Luciferianism, which venerates Lucifer as a figure of enlightenment and rebellion, twisted the original intent of Memento Mori. So where Catholics use Memento Mori to foster humility and a closer relationship with God in preparation for an afterlife, these occult practices use it instead to promote a different kind of spirituality. It's not really spiritual at all. It's actually a very secular, materialist mentality. And it stands in opposition to the traditional Christian beliefs around Memento Mori. So this appropriation not only distorts the original meaning, but also risks leading people away from the true path intended by the Church through Memento Mori. It's just one of the many ways, that the Luciferian principle deceives. So Luciferianism has reduced this practice to promote superficial concepts like YOLO, you only live once. And it's to justify voraciously indulging in the material world in a very superficial way. And this can lead to addictive or predatory behavior. And it helps you rationalize committing all manner of sins in the spirit of YOLO self-indulgence. In contrast, Catholicism approaches this more like eternal life is imminent and God is waiting on the other side of that thin veil, so make sure that you use your short time wisely and in a way that's pleasing to God, because you'll be facing Him imminently. The Luciferian doesn't want heaven, rejects God. So if I'm willingly going to hell anyway, I might as well enjoy every sin possible while I'm here. If you're going to send me to hell, God, then I'm going to earn it. And that's the mentality of a Luciferian. So why does this contrast matter? Because understanding the origins of Memento Mori and the ways in which it's been co-opted helps us reclaim the true depth and beauty of this practice. It serves as a reminder of the richness of our Catholic heritage and the importance of safeguarding our spiritual traditions. By understanding the true meaning of this practice, we remember that Memento Mori is less about enjoy life while you can and more please God while you can. And there's a big difference in that. One will make you more selfish, the other selfless. In a world that's constantly changing, where trends come and go, the enduring wisdom of Memento Mori offers us a timeless perspective. It's a call to live authentically, to prioritize what truly matters, and to prepare our souls for the ultimate journey. So if you are one of those people that loved the whole idea of Goth, and maybe you love the occult or the, counterculture sort of aesthetics that you see with the cult, it could be that you are just drawn to the mysticism and you don't believe that belongs in the church because, well, we were probably misled. And a lot of it, Vatican II has some really great things about making our faith a little more digestible to the mainstream. However, to people that really are drawn to mystical practices or to a darker side of religious life, like the contemplation of mortality, for example, and the aesthetics that come with that, you could have stayed in the church and just researched Memento Mori, and you probably would have found your home. So if you find yourself drawn to the intellectual pursuits, and that will lead you sometimes to contemplation of your mortality. Or if you just lean towards Gothic culture and figure, well, how can I belong in a religion when really, I'm a metalhead or, a Goth person? Well, actually, this is exactly where you belong. This is your home. This is the origin story of Goth. So I urge you to research that part of Catholicism, and you'll find that not only does your Goth aesthetic have a far deeper meaning, but one that will actually bring you fulfillment and closer to God, and you can still keep the black lipstick and fit right in, and you're fine. So if this is something you're interested in, check out Memento Mori. Start doing some, religious exploration of that through the Catholic faith, and you just might find yourself coming back to church and feeling really good about it. So thank you for joining me today on FaithFocus.ca. If you found this episode enlightening, please share it with others and leave us a review. Stay tuned for more discussions that illuminate the beauty and depth of our Catholic faith. Until next time, remember, Memento Mori.